Good afternoon to one and all present here. Today's webinar is SAFAL, a Key to Safalta, is organized by Full Marks and Orange Education. On behalf of Full Marks and Orange Education, I would like to welcome you and the CBSE Hub Schools. Full Marks Private Limited publishes books that are based on the latest syllabus of the various education boards which follow the National Curriculum Framework. Orange Education is a group of educationists, mentors, and strategists who believe in bringing out-tech-driven educational solutions for fostering the intellect of students and assist them to bridge with the practical world to unearth their talents. Today, we have with us our honorable speaker for the day, Dr. Madhuri Parthi, who is a visionary and futuristic educationist. She has a vast experience in setting schools, has started and led various schools and played a vital role in the evolution of the learning experience. She has been with EduCom and Sri Ram Schools as a group director. Presently, she is Director Academics at Aravali Foundation. She has spearheaded Lakshmipat Singhania Education Foundation. With an experience of over 2 decades, she has been actively involved in building learning environments, developing out-of-the-box curriculum, and promoting experiential learning. She has executed the 21st century learning methodology. She is focused on producing creative and innovative thinkers. She has trained over 10,000 teachers, 2,000 school leaders, and over 600 employees from various corporates within the country and globally. She's an author, a writer, and a blogger. She works for various social causes under the umbrella of Rotary International. She has been honored at national and international levels. We welcome you, ma'am. Now, over to ma'am.
A very good evening to one and all. I think SAFAL as a plan from CBSE was long due. National Education Policy, the new one, was long due. As educationists, we all know what was it that we were missing vis-a-vis the global scenario. Yeah. So let's just start with it and see where we are heading, what are we doing, and how is it that we make best use of it. Assessments have been very, very critical in the entire learning teaching cycle. Without assessments, we cannot judge where we are heading. So let's see what has CBSE done to it. What are the changes? How are the schools supposed to implement it? What is the way forward for it? So I think when we were school going children, we all were, the only thing probably we were scared of, the only thing that kind of made school an unpleasant place to go was the day we had assessments, test/exam. We were happy kids. I used to love to go to school. The only days that would give me like kind of nightmares were days when I had to sit for an exam or write a test. Why? Why? Where does this fear come from, first of all? I think this fear comes from us as teachers and also the other stakeholder, that is parent. We kind of make this whole thing of testing into a fear factor. Why can't we make assessment as easy, as smooth flowing as brushing your teeth in the morning? Yeah, it's a regular routine. We don't have to make an effort for that. Initially, somebody trains us and then we just do it. It has to be a process as simple as that. But by putting that fear factor, test aa raha hai, पढ़ लो, एग्जाम में फेल हो जाओगे, टेस्ट है, पार्टी में नहीं जाना है, रिवीजन करना है, and all these various statements that teachers and parents give creates a fear factor in the child. So CBSE has made a huge effort to ease out this entire process. Yeah. So SAFAL is the new mantra for it. And as per CBSE, that is the mantra for Nipunya Bharat. But I have only one request to all the senior leadership of the schools, which is present here today. CCE was introduced by CBSE for a similar reason. But what happened ultimately? Almost 50% of the school started getting 10 GPA, right? We all know in our education system, we have students who would have got a 30 on 30 in practicals and maybe not even a 30% in theory. So any tool that is provided to us by anybody, right, is successful only if it is used properly, right? वो बच्चे को एक हम rattle देते हैं. We give a rattle, we give a whatever, some people call it junjuna, chankana, whatever. Now, if you don't make that sound, the child may just bang his or her own head with it. So it's the same tool. So tools will be provided by systems. But if we are not going to make good use of it and a proper use of it, we will fail again with the system. It's a beautiful system that has been spread out. So let's see where we go and how we go. So SAFAL, the key to Safalta. What all are we going to cover today? We're going to understand assessment, the current landscape, the introduction to SAFAL, the purpose of SAFAL, features of SAFAL, and how do we adapt to it. I think there are millions of questions that each one of us have in our minds. Vis-a-vis, what is it all about? So let's just visit it one by one. So why do we assess? Why? Assessment is the process of gathering and evaluating information on what student knows, please mark my words, knows, understand, and can do. I give this example more than often at one of the gatherings in our friend's house, which was hosted only because the child had got very good percentage in PCM in grade 12. So we all know May में result आता है, May, June, May last week. So they hosted a lunch for all of us. Yeah, we went. And जैसे ही सब guest बढ़ने शुरू हुए तो they thought they'll switch on one more AC. तो एक और AC चलाते ही the whole electricity tripped off, the fuse. So आवाज लगाई, अंकित fuse लगाना. With this child who had 97% in physics, he said, मुझे fuse लगाना नहीं आता. Right? So that is why it's very critical what students know, understand, and can do. Yeah. Help educators take an informed decision on next step. So I really don't know how many of us as schools, when children get their marks, we sit and analyze which direction is our teaching learning going. The assessment that we do is not only for the student as to how is the student doing, it is also for us as teachers as to how are we teaching in the classroom. If a teacher is teaching in the classroom a concept, then anybody might ask any question in any format and any hour of the day. The child should be able to apply and give the answer. Why just question answers at the back, in the front, or wherever, or what teacher has done in the classroom? We are here to teach a concept. The child is there to understand the concept and comprehend it. So that is what our target should be. The day our teachers start teaching in the classroom with the purpose कि मेरे बच्चे से कभी भी किसी क्षण भी रात को नींद में भी कोई भी कैसा भी सवाल उस टॉपिक से पूछेगा तो मेरा बच्चा जवाब दे पाएगा. If that is the agenda that we as teachers will keep on our minds, we don't need any system, we don't need any data. The success is bound to happen. But we teach to test only what we want to test. ये आने वाला है टेस्ट में, इसलिए ये sample revision paper है. Right? This is going to be the format of questions being asked. So ये sample question paper. Why? That's where the key lies. That is where the सफलता का key lies. टीचर इतना सुंदर करके पढ़ाए, इतना सुंदर करके पढ़ाए कि कोई भी जवाब देना बच्चे के लिए मुश्किल नहीं. Now, how are we going to assess? We ensure assessment gives data on student levels. Analyze data at classroom level. Do we compare section 6A if it is being taught by a different teacher, 6B is being taught by a different teacher, but the same syllabus and the same question paper has been given? How are the children performing? Thanks to ERPs today, we have some statistical data, right? But otherwise, analyzing the data after an assessment is a critical part which we miss out. Reteach where needed. If the entire class has not done a concept well, let's not take it as a defeat. मैंने तो अच्छे से पढ़ाया था, नहीं पढ़ाया था, नहीं समझ आया. Right? So let's reteach where needed. Focus on foundation of literacy and numeracy skills. So what are the different kind of assessments? Now let's see that. Individual assessment can be formative and give feedback to student and teacher, or summative in the form of an examination. Now, it is not going to end there, what used to happen earlier. Now what they are looking at is, what CBS is looking at is, it's a system level assessment. They are large scale, regional, national, international evidence to show, right? Again, I mean, what is at the most we analyze when the board results happen? किस region से बच्चा बाहर आया, उसका financial, economical background क्या था, right? And we feel very happy अगर वो बच्चा कोई economically weaker section se aaya ho, we feel glad about it, has fought challenges and then come out right, then it becomes story and headlines for media for the next day, and then the entire thing dies a death, right? Whether the child was from which state of the country, which strata, and then next day everybody forgets everything about it. Do we go deeper into the results and see what's happening? And or okay, एक और criteria होता है, gender. लड़की first आई या लड़का first आया? How does it matter? We will compare the gender, we'll see the economical background, social background, and that's where our analysis ends of the board results of the country today. But now we are heading in a new direction altogether. These results will decide what kind of amendment in our education system is required at the individual level of a child, like what we do as remedial classes or scaffolding classes. What is it that is required at the school level? Maybe there is some problem inherent in the teaching of the school, or maybe the pedagogy is weak, or maybe the language expression is weak, whatever, right? And then at state and national. Our country today doesn't participate in PISA. Why? What happened? Yeah. So we are remodeling the entire system to reach there. So what all is there today for the day? We have our the documents that are there. We have the National Education Policy. We have competency-based education system. We have foundational literacy and numeracy. Anything and everything, the principals who are here, the coordinators related to learning outcomes and competencies is available on the NCERT website. So anything that you required subject-wise related to this topic is available to you on the NCERT website. Do go through it. Now, is a competency-based assessment being introduced by CBSE? What are we assessing? Earlier, it was content-based. Where is Taj Mahal? Taj Mahal is in Agra. You answer that, you're brilliant. Where is it situated? Situated next to Yamuna ke Tire. Perfect answer. But now what we have to check is not content, but skills and competencies. और ये तो हम सबको पता है as principals and teachers and as coordinators and leaders of the schools कि हम check वही करेंगे ना जो हमने पढ़ाया है. That means the whole pedagogy has to change. What we have to deliver is just not the content, but we have to go to the next level and also ensure there are enough skills and competencies integrated within our teaching. Yeah, if that's not done in the classroom, we can't expect to test it either. फिर हम एक ही बात सुनेंगे, बहुत खूबसूरत बात आती होती है ना, क्वेश्चन नंबर ये आउट ऑफ सिलेबस था. I know people who are doing masters of a subject and saying question paper out of syllabus. You are going to master a subject, right? We are also going to test basic learning outcomes along with HOTS and application knowledge in real life situations rather than rote memorization. Since it's not going to be content based, so rote memorization may not be feasible. What is the purpose of key stage assessment? Idea is to nudge school system towards competency-based learning. Collect the data from the assessments done to chart performance on competencies at and above the grade level and monitor progress. Identify areas of academic intervention. The idea is once you've got the data, analyze it and see, check What is it that you require to do? What are the key features of SAFAL assessment? It is to test core concept and move away from rote learning, to provide data used for continuous monitoring and improvement. And we are going to track students' progress at grade 3, 5, and 8. Right now, what we are doing it, all the so-called public exams happen at grade 10, and at grade 10 level, our results decide what stream we are going to take. Right? By then, the damage is already done. It's too late to repair anything. Too late. Right? So that is why now it will happen at 3 different levels. And this has nothing to do with the child's promotion or no promotion. This is an intervention for repair work. This will make us decide as to what is it that we need to mend. This has nothing to do with the promotion of the child. Please mind that. This intervention is for a different purpose altogether. The entire purpose of SAFAL document is to ensure that the children get the right remedial act at the right time, or the region, or the nation, or the school, at whatever level. So I think it's very critical for the leadership to understand this, because leadership will now, not that we were earlier not required to be alert, but now we have to be alert at a different level. I feel now is the time, I've been saying it from last 10 years. Schools now need to have 2 principles. One should be purely looking into academics. The other one should be looking into administration. Because now will be the time to focus purely on academics for the school leader, for whosoever is heading this department. If you are busy kind of meeting parents, replying to their queries, addressing all operational issues, I doubt how much justice you will be able to do to this entire system. It will be very, very critical for us as school leaders to be completely focused on that development of the child, the blossoming of the child. All right. So school level data used for students' development, test higher order thinking. We have been sitting and sleeping over Bloom's taxonomy. I think now is the time to unveil it, use it in your daily kind of working. And it should not be left for the last day question papers that you make a blueprint. Ensure you have all the questions from Bloom's taxonomy at all levels, 20% of this, 30% of this, 40% of this. No, I doubt. Now is the time when every day while we are teaching, we ensure that we put Bloom's taxonomy into it. It has to be in our teaching. I'll give you an example. I love giving this example. I would have given it hundreds of times. So say if I'm teaching a chapter, Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, all right, Indus Valley Civilization. We all have this chapter in grade 6 social sciences, right? So if I give my children some clay or some anything, and I give them the same circumstances that were there during that time of Indus Valley Civilization, और मैं उनको बोलती हूँ अब एक शहर बनाओ, ये होना चाहिए, तो जो वो शहर बनाएंगे वो लगभग it will be close to Indus Valley Civilization. अब मैं उनको बोलती हूँ, I show them, use some kind of technology, maybe Khan Academy, maybe whatever, wherever this chapter, geography, National Geographic Channel, I show them what it looked like in film. Now I ask them to make their own outcome, their own kind of what do they think if they had to write a chapter on this for the incoming class 5, How will they write a chapter Indus Valley civilization? Right? Then I go and open the book, read out the chapter, or ask them to read, either way, whatever. Right? And then I ask them to compare Indus Valley civilization with their current city where they're living, how things are different. What is the similarity? Or I ask them to do a graphic organizer like Venn diagram to give out the similarities and differences. Then I tell them to create another city 20 years from now using the best features of both the times. This is education for us. This is the only way we can educate our children. And today's generation, they don't, I mean, today, I mean, when my teacher taught me Taj Mahal, I mean, I come back to that example more than often. There were 10 sentences that we used to write. Okay, Taj Mahal was built by so and so in the memory of his wife. There were so many labors involved. It is made of marble. It is next to the river Yamuna. Da 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 da. 10 sentences. Today, if I press Google and I write Taj Mahal, I have more content than that. So if we want our teachers, that's why children are losing interest. We keep wondering, they are so distracted, they're so distracted. We keep using these phrases, but they are distracted because we are not able to deliver to their needs. We are not able to engage their minds. We still teach the way we were teaching. So this whole system and scenario has to change to make SAFAL, so to say. All right. So what's going to happen at grade 3 level? We will be checking children on languages and mathematics. In the year 21-22, it will be implemented digitally. Competencies of grade 1 and 2. The assessment authority will be CBSE. School level report card shared by CBSE to help plan academic support and inform the school community and parents. Nature of question, constructed response question where students have to construct an answer. Assessment will be written and over. This is for this year as of now. We are in trial period, so we'll make a lot of, kind of hit and trial because it has to be kind of implemented through the length and breadth of the country. And ours is a very, very diverse country. So it's an experiment that we are doing. But the experiment will come out, I mean, the quality of results will depend on how people who are going to implement are going to kind of look at it. For grade 5, it will be languages, EVS, and mathematics. Again, implemented digitally. Competencies of grade 3 and 4. In grade 8, again, language, science, and maths, digitally. And again, grade 6 and level 7. Again, authority will be CBSE. Schools will be shared with the cards to ensure that they improve upon the skills and everything of the children. And choice of question will be higher order thinking. Now, moving on. What are we actually going to check on this and how? A competency-based assessment framework is being developed, which will include competencies, sub-competencies, learning outcomes, and the indicators at various levels. What will make us know that the child knows it? The 3 areas that we are taking is literacy, numeracy, EVS, languages. That means languages, EVS, and maths. Assessment will test core concept along with application and higher order thinking. Right? Assessment items to test critical competencies across key strands and domains. Student proficiency will be tested across, okay, they're dividing the whole thing into 3 levels: basic, advanced, and proficient. I'll be showing you a chart. So, I mean, There'll be a national level, regional level decided, and then the child could be 2 levels below, above, whatever. So we will be sharing that right now after this. Shift towards a competency-based assessment and learning system. Allow students to demonstrate understanding and mastery of knowledge skills as they progress through the curriculum. The entire system will help us to ensure that it is competency based. How will you report? Focus on school level achievements of learning, report profile levels across grade level competences. Proficiency band, I'll be showing you in the next slide. Bands will describe the profile of a school. Their achievement at a national benchmark will be created. Students whose results are located within a particular level of proficiency are expected to understand the competencies and associated with that level and lower level and an upper level. Where is the child? There will be one basic band for all the three. Students' performance will be placed in a specific band, which could be either below or above the minimum standard for the subject tested. So there is one center level, which is like the minimum level, and then there'll be a band below and above it. So let's see one example to understand how it will go. If you can see the slide here right now, so there is a level which says all right, I was told the slides cannot be seen, so I've reshared it. All right, so there is a minimum level of grade 3, 4, and 5, and then there is like how you interpret what is your school's level. Here you retrieve information that is explicit. So that's how it will reflect on the information that you are getting. All right, how to read a report. This report shows the result of XYZ school. This report shows your achievement in literacy and numeracy assessment. Again, this one. To students in grade 5 in CBSE schools. The test result should be interpreted with care, especially since school experienced disruption due to COVID-19. All right. So these are the bands that are there. All right. The skill described in the table represents those typically assessed for grade 5, and a student achieving a result in a particular band is likely to have correctly answered questions involving skill in that band. So here it goes. This is how the band will be. So this is school average of XYZ school for grade 5, say. All right. National benchmarking is here. So that means the school is 2 levels lower than the national benchmarking, right? So how we will make our students or our school's result go from one band to the other? By improving the entire teaching learning process. It's, as I said earlier, it's not only about, kind of assessment. Assessment will depend on our classroom transaction. So it's the classroom transaction that needs to change. So here, when a band is here, so that means the grade level 5 is met with. So this is for grades 3, 4, 5. This is how the entire benchmarking will look like. I'll leave this slide for a second on the screen for everybody to have a look. And right, this is just for languages, but similarly, there'll be for all the subjects that we are going to test. So if we have read it, we can move forward. Now, let's see. The whole idea is ensure assessments move away from rote memorization to competency-based tests. We focus on building student competency through an inquiry-based curriculum. The key here will be inquiry-based curriculum, not content-based, right? So if we are not going to change that pattern, while we are teaching, we'll not be able to assess. So the entire curriculum will need revision over a period of time. Regular practice of questions which are based on HOTS. Again, it's not only during the time of assessment, during the time of taking test in September, December, it has to be there in everyday practice now. There is no other way it can be dealt in. Then regular tracking of assessment data, error analysis, and retention of core competences. Now here lies the key. So I discover that, okay, these are the areas. I still remember, all right, I have to share one beautiful story with you. I was in US visiting a school, and I was visiting class 4 or 5. My nieces and nephews were there. And and this I'm talking about 15, 20 years back. They are all grown-ups now. So in one of the classrooms I visited, teacher was teaching fractions. So on one side, like we have the timetable matrix, like now what we call Excel sheet. So she had the names of the students. On top, she had all the subheads of the topic, fractions. That means addition, subtraction, like fractions, unlike fractions. So she had kind of assessed every part of the topic fractions with the children, and the marks and the remarks were mentioned. So that means name of the child. On top are all the subtopics, and then between the two is like, okay, Madhuri Parthi has scored well in fractions to understand what is a fraction, has understood maybe addition of fraction, but then she has not understood the like and unlike fractions, or how to make a mixed fraction to a proper or an improper or whatever, right? So that is the amount of analysis that was happening in that classroom. So I was really standing and admiring there, like, we normally do a test and he's not good at maths. No, the teacher did all the remedial action then to kind of make the child understand like and unlike fractions, not kind of label that iske maths kabhi samajh mein nahi aata, right? So our records have to be that anecdotal, that specific, that realistic, that detailed. So it's more work for all of us now. We'll have to kind of reorient our teachers. We'll have to unlearn, relearn. All those things have to come again into the system. But it is critical right now for all of us all to take the system to the next level. So if a child gets his remedial act at class 3 level, we would have saved many, many problems which will come later on. So I think this is one of the best things that we could have. But as I said, any system will work if and only if people like us who are going to implement it implemented with the same spirit with which it has been made and the purpose that it is supposed to serve. अगेन मेरा शुरू वाला एग्जाम्पल, अगर हमने डिसाइड ही करा हुआ है कि स्कूल के ऊपर वाले 12 बच्चों को हमने 30 में से 30 दिलाने एग्जामिनर से, अगले 12 या 15 को हमने 29 दिलाने हैं और मिनिमम मार्क्स हमने प्रैक्टिकल में 27 दिलाने हैं, चाहे का हमारे बच्चों ने पूरे साल में लैब की शक्ल भी ना देखी हो, 4 एक उन्होंने फाइल बनाई होगी एक दूसरे की देख के या कोई लैब मैनुअल्स. And then we say children don't have a scientific temperament. Where are they supposed to get that scientific temperament from? I was having a discussion with the think tank of the country one of these days. We were sitting in Delhi, this Khan Market Cafe House, and this is what we were discussing. Best of the best schools in metro cities also. I don't know how many times till grade 10, children get to touch, feel, and do the science experiments in a science lab. Yeah. Why science lab experiments are restricted? I mean, for doing, not for demonstrating. Why a class 1 cannot be taken to a proper science lab? Why a class 2 cannot be taken? Why do we have to wait till grade 10 when CPSC tells us कि इतने एक्सपेरिमेंट कराओ, ये एक्सपेरिमेंट कराओ और उसको फाइल में रिकॉर्ड कराओ और ये फॉर्मेट है रिकॉर्डिंग का, तब हम कराते हैं. Why not in any other grade? I visited so many schools in the country where composite lab will be sitting like one shopping mall. सब में लेबल, अभी प्राइस लेबल लगा होगा, सेलोफिन लगा होगा. It is there either to show CBSE or to sell it to parents. बच्चों के हाथों की पसीना, बच्चों के हाथों की स्मेल उस apparatus में मिसिंग. Why? So I think all my colleagues who are sitting here will completely agree with me that this system or any other system that government brings in will be a success or a failure. I think I mean, we are the people who have to make it whatever it will be at the end of the day. Thank you very much. I think I've answered most of the questions related to SAFAL, as to whatever we all know about SAFAL as of now, whatever discussions we've had with CBSE, whatever we've kind of spoken till about now. This is the information that we have. So it's time. Somebody has written here, it's an asset, it's an introspection into ourselves. So now we have a composite lab, an EBS lab, we have a lot of material. And today, to all the material, I mean, you have virtual labs, we have all the resources now. Teachers, and leaders, we are far more powerful and resourceful today. We are very, very resourceful today. So today you go to Khan Academy, you have 1000 videos, right? You go to YouTube and you type the topic, you have 1000 videos. Yeah, if I have to teach gravity, मैं खाली समझाती नहीं रह जाऊंगी, एक बॉल फेंक, ऊपर फेंक, नीचे आ जाएगी. No, there's so much material available. Use it for your children. Tell your teachers, this is it, this is how I want you to teach. Be a role model for them, you know. That's where we can make this entire generation, this future, we can all do big talks in very big platforms. Yeah, we can all think we are doing a great job. I also think that every morning I think I do a great job. But there is nothing like a great job. There is so much to be done. And in a country like ours, I mean, the length and the breadth of the country is so diverse, so diverse. So thank you very much, everybody. I can take 2 questions. If you can be absolutely brief in asking, I mean, just the question, nothing else. I'll be happy to answer if I can. I can't promise if I'll be able to answer. Thank you very much. Sonam, do you think we would like to take some questions? If there are any participants, you can put your question in the chat box. We'll try and answer. It is going to be somebody's asked whether there will be specific times. Yes, there will be specific times also, but there will be regular also. It's your day-to-day this thing. Right. दो ही तरह लोग सवाल नहीं पूछते, या तो सब कुछ समझ आया है या तो कुछ नहीं समझ आया है. I'll be very happy अगर फर्स्ट केस और सेकंड हुआ तो मुझे बड़ा उदास होंगी मैं, as usual, right? So thanks a lot, everybody. Wish you all the best. My email ID is my name, Madhuri Parthi, all in small, @gmail.com. If you still have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. Exams in grade 358 from this year. Yes, here we are going to have 358. The government is going to come out with samples. It will be digital this time. Being online will be successful. We don't know right now. So any tests that we are doing in our systems, all of us all know it. I was told by my teachers the day before we were having a discussion on. I do analyze all the results personally with all my schools. So we were having a discussion. So teachers told me that children divide the answer sheet. Okay, question number 1 to 5. This group is going to answer 6 to 10 मांडवाली हो जाती है क्वेश्चंस की, और वो मांडवाली के बाद सारे आंसर ग्रुप पे शेयर होते हैं. So one mistake made by one group is shown, reflects in all the papers. So I really don't know how successful it will be as of now, but as leaders, let's ensure whatever best we can do, let's do. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, all of you all.
I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I extend my gratitude to our honorable speaker, Dr. Madhuri Parthi, to take out time from her busy schedule and give us insights about SAFAL. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Madhuri ma'am. Thank you, Sona ma'am. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for this webinar.